Hello everybody, and Jess here, and welcome back to Majo to Yajuu episode 3. Again, I tried recording it earlier, right, before a couple minutes ago, but my main video player just stopped displaying subtitles. I downloaded two different versions of this episode from two different providers, and they have subs in any other player, not in the one that I usually use. Go figure. So I'm gonna be using a different player for this recording, but I checked and subtitles work, so hey, that's good, right? Thankfully I didn't get any further into the episode than the first spoken line, so whatever. But still, worth mentioning. So, in the previous episode, the previous episode very much felt like a setup to the new arc, where the first episode was a vertical slice of this show. We had the whole thing, right? We meet our characters, we get a little bit of the investigation, then we get the fight with the witch, then we get the victory over the witch, and we know who our characters are more or less, we know who the witches are, what's the danger, etc, etc, etc. Now it seems like we are truly actually starting with the story, starting with the arcs. The previous episode was named Something Something Part 1, if I'm not mistaken. This is Something Something Part 2, so we can easily see that it's two parts of the same arc, and perhaps there's going to be a third one as well. Entirely plausible. Entirely possible that that's going to be the structure going forward, right? 2-3 episodes per witch, I wouldn't mind it whatsoever. We'll see how it goes, of course. The first half of the previous episode was just doing some menial tasks, right? Taking care of an animal, magical beast rather, going rampant, going on a rampage, etc, etc, etc. Stuff like that, which gave us a little bit of characterization for our characters, right? We know how calm and collected Ashaf is, we know how hot-headed Guido is, we know that they don't have the best relationship, but they are still partnered. We also know that it's not just always going to be witches. There's not always going to be a task that has to do with witches. There's going to be doing whatever the agency, whatever they're a part of, deems necessary of doing, right? So that's that little cool bit of world building, of setting up expectations, stuff like that. And the second half was, again, very much set up. We know that there's a new witch, a witch who goes around the city exploding people. And she says every time that it's not enough, that she needs more. Whether she's sucking out people's life force, collecting their souls, collecting their blood, or just killing people and she wants to kill more, anybody's guess. But that's going to be our witch for this arc. We also meet a detective lady who has very bad memories with witches because I believe because of a witch her family died. I'm not sure if that fire was caused by a witch or not, but seeing how much of a grudge she has against witches, I would suppose that it was caused by a witch, and she's going to be helpful in the investigation. And hopefully she's gonna survive. I have hope. I have hope that she will survive. We don't know just how dark or light this series is, to be perfectly honest. First episode seemed very dark, but then in the end all of the girls taken in by the witch have their limbs regrown. So ultimately a good ending. So I'm not exactly sure what we're gonna go for. Am I to be worried about the detective lady dying? Or is everything gonna be okay? She's gonna maybe suffer, maybe she's gonna get halfway to being exploded, but then she's gonna be saved at the last moment. We'll see. Again, anybody's guess. This is going to be the first arc of this show that we're gonna see. And I think that does it for a summary, right? The previous episode was very much just a setup for this one. So how about we just watch it, right? To do it, you will need your subs to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show, and I'm gonna have to ask you for support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you nothing and helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching episode 3 of Majo to Yajuu in 3, 2, 1, go. There we go. Right, this is a recap from the previous episode. We have already seen this person explode. Matcha with lime. And mint, I think. As I said, I really like the intro to this opening. I like how it ends. It's just kind of a shame that the middle of it is just more or less of a generic J-rock. And I see my face cam is flickering again. Hopefully this is gonna fix it. It's good J-rock, like, make no mistake, absolutely. But I can't help but feel a little bit of wasted potential, right? There are some really nice riffs at the beginning and at the end, almost sounding like light industrial, and then it's just J-rock. This is a nice moment. The climbing. And the riffs again. And a huge fake out. I still have no clue what this fake out is. Why is it here? But it always catches me off guard. Okay, the witch's pastime. Final act. Hey, subs! MPV player being the MVP. Why is this witch looking so old and decrepit then? It better be a witch. A human. Easy. She'd really rather it be a witch. Maybe you are the perpetrator then. Are you a witch? Detective Chan. Of course. Breaking and entering, can't you see? Oh, someone's dead inside. Someone's absolutely dead inside. Has been for quite some time now, yeah. Because she wants to play a game, but she doesn't want that game to be too easy. Right? She doesn't want it to be like fucking... What was that game? Thor Ragnarok, I think. No, sorry, not Thor Ragnarok. That was a movie. The new God of War, right? With constant quips of, hey, look at the door. I see something. Might be worth checking out. Hey, go there. Maybe this lever activates the system. She wants the players to have some fun solving the riddle. Oh? A curse, you say? You can't really find out much from a corpse, can you? You did figure something out. Oh. Witch? Or a mage? Whomst? Is that a mask, or is it her actual face? Kinda looks like a mask. She just wanted to welcome you in the game. That's a lot of blood. Yeah, let's go and protect Detective Chan, shall we? Oh, that was fast. You can't catch smoke. Is she connected because she's willing to play the game? Or is she connected on some deeper level? Yeah. Kill the police, kill the detectives, then they're not gonna have any choice but to call upon the paladins. Mm-hmm. Right, she is a mage, isn't she? Because you want her to go after you. That's why. The fire? Probably. So it was the witch's doing. Not anymore, they aren't. The first clue. This reads like fuck, fuck, fuck. I'm sorry. Grew a fuck, fuck, fuck wood. That's what it looks like. Purple smoke again, yeah. Sure. And you can't do shit. How did you. Why did you even think you're gonna be able to do anything against a witch? Distracted and without a weapon. Like, there is bravery and there is stupidity. And she's just training in the background. Yeah, I wonder why. I mean, yeah, we can certainly use that fact. That makes the witch predictable. Let's just go and punch that witch in the face. That's simple, isn't it? Yeah. Do you need anything more? It's your second home burning. I mean, perfect. A subordinate? Provided Ashaf doesn't forget the coffin. Three days later, they even have a bat signal. Protective circle. Probably preparing some sort of a tool that's gonna help us later. Hungry. Yes, actually. I have two guns. Or kiss the witch. Albeit temporarily. There it is. They knew where to aim their spotlights, huh? It's absolutely a mask. It's not a decrepit face, it's just a mask. I wonder who's hiding behind it. Kiera's sister or something? Could very well be. All. I've seen at least 3 people die. 2 of them have their chest area crushed with chairs. Can you corner smoke? With your crows? With your crows. So they were his agents. Yep. We still have like 7 more minutes. Can we get the final battle within that time span? Empty bottles. Blonde hair. Whomst. There is more of them. Huh. Twins? Just mages, pretending to be witches. Let me guess. Kiera put their parents in jail or something and they're taking revenge. No, actually. Is it her children? What? What? Why? How? What the fuck? Yes, it seems that way. Why though? Grimoires? Which is grimoires, probably. Bound in human leather, probably. Interesting. Right, that's why we learned about forbidden instruments early on. What? Then... Oh. 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 Okay. Really, though. Why not random people, right? Why not go around killing, I don't fucking know, street bums and criminals? Right, they didn't kill Guido. Mannequins? Familiars? Okay, that's why he needed leather sacks. Okay, so the smoke was also obstructing their vision. Doubtful. Huh. if they lose handle on the grimoires, they have no longer any power. Yeah. Easy. Easy. Oh, still alive? What the fuck? Yeah, punch their brains in, Guido. Is she gonna shoot herself? First them, then herself? Oh, they were adopted. Hmm. I guess that changes things a little bit. Is Kiara still alive? Probably. Hmm. Okay, so the fact that they weren't involved alone tells volumes, speaks volumes. Hello, Kiara. You're holding up surprisingly well. I fully expected her to put a third bullet in her own skull. Interesting. Really? They would have started peddling drugs, beating people up, and killing kittens. You're just kind of born a psychopath, really. Hopefully next time it's a witch, though. Otherwise, Guido will be unhappy. Okay, sure. Hmm. I want to say that this episode went by really quickly and that the pacing was very fast. But I don't think it was. I don't think it was. But I have a very weird dissonance in my head right now. On one hand, I feel like this episode was rushed. On the other, I can't say that anything in particular was missing. Right? Like, usually when you have the feeling that an episode is rushed, it's because something's missing, right? They don't stop to explain someone's motivations, or they don't show characters moving from point A to point B, or they don't show something, right? That's why you get the vibe of the episode being rushed. Not the case here. Not the case here. Beauty and Death opening act. Okay, so we are going to get whatchamacallit, multi-part episodes, and MPV is cool, but it seems like it closes itself whenever the video stops playing, so I'm gonna have to reopen it so that we can go through it again. There we go. Shall we? Yes, we shall. Hopefully it's a setting that I can change, or hopefully my main player fixes itself. Yeah, this is just a repeat. OP, OP, OP. Witches don't age, their health doesn't decline, and the witch's power is passed on to her descendants. I live on and on without change, I bear heir after heir without change. Why would those boys be leaving messages like that? Right? It really was a game to them, wasn't it? It really was a game. If you truly must kill, right? You're placed in a position where you must kill one person a week, or a grimoire eats you, or whatever. Then any normal person would either just not do the killing and rather die themselves, because if they are selfless enough, or they would be resorting to killing the unwanted people, right? Street beggars, criminals, etc., etc. People that likely nobody will miss, or someone's even gonna be happy that they are gone, right? I know that if I were in this sort of a situation, that would probably be what I would have done, if anything at all. They weren't going about random people. They were going specifically about people from their mother's surrounding. And they were having fun with it, with a full-on costume, with a mask, with fancy riddles. Exploding those people instead of killing them painlessly, which they could have done with the magic powers they had. Fill their lungs with nitrogen, and they're gonna suffocate, and they're not gonna feel like they're suffocating. And they're just gonna pass out and die. Easy, quick, painless death. But no, they opted to explode people instead into a bloody pulp. Huh, shit. So even having children doesn't change things. Guido really wants it to be a witch. 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs at noon, 3 legs at night. If you didn't know this riddle, it's a classic. 4 legs in the morning because they walk, toddlers walk on their all fours. 2 legs at noon because middle-aged people and people in their prime in general walk on 2 legs. 3 legs at night because elderly people walk with a cane. Easy, simple. The killer's laughing at us, yeah, which is pastime. Something stinks, literally. It wasn't a figure of speech of, oh, something's amiss. No, something literally stinks. And it's a rotting corpse that they left behind. Didn't even dispose of it, right? Nothing good happens to people I'm close to. First clue that we have here, that she is at the epicenter of those happenings. Diseases propagate and spread. This disease is called a curse, a witch's curse. Again, a very random line that they just left. They really were pretending to be a witch. They weren't killing out of necessity, they made a game out of it. Something's here, and it's a witch, and it is a mask. Yeah, initially I thought it's just a decrepit face, but then Ashaf said that witches don't age. So, why would she be decrepit if witches don't age? And now we see that the color of the face is different than the color of the hand and of the neck. A mask, clearly. She disappeared because the grimoires attract themselves, which is a very cool mechanic, actually. 2 people each has a grimoire, and one person can always summon another as long as they're within a kilometer radius. Cool. Someone watching us? Yeah. Why does a witch make a point of announcing what she is? That's also another very good point. Witches, from what we know, we haven't seen that many witches so far. But witches are a being that is feared. Witches are beings that people would rather eradicate and get rid of permanently. So they would rather not announce their presence. They would rather not announce that they are witches. They would work on their schemes in secrecy, and only when they are done, they would set the city on fire or whatever. Right? That's the vibe I'm getting, at least, from the witches. They wouldn't be going around saying, hey, yo, I'm a witch, right? Only the police oppose her, so to draw out the paladins. And everything was making sense up to this point, and all throughout, really. Everything was making sense, right? A witch or someone pretending to be a witch, who is bored of their immortality. They want to play a game, so they're killing people, leaving messages, hoping for the police to arrive, then fighting police. Police turns out to be, not much of a force to be reckoned with. So she decides that, I wanna fight the paladins. I wanna play with the higher ranking players. But as long as the police force is here, they're not gonna summon the paladins, so I gotta get rid of the police force. Makes sense, right? Especially with Kiera being the only fighter of the police, the only mage, it seems. Shulk and Loran. This, tell me you don't see at least 3 instances of fuck in this writing. I also see an instance of KFC and couple of instances of WAD. That's why I said that it's fuck WAD. That's what it looks like to me. I live on and on without change. I bear air after air without change. Yeah. Everyone takes shelter. I was wondering, why is he stupid or what? Trying to oppose a witch like that, unarmed, without any preparation, any weapon, distracted. And of course he ended up splatted. But apparently he was also a mage. Must have not been particularly strong then. Or particularly smart, for that matter. Magic teacher and boyfriend. Lure him out and murder him. Guido doesn't care. Guido is warming herself up for the sparring with the witch. And still makes sense, right? The witch has her eyes set on her for whatever reasons, so that makes the witch predictable. We can figure out where she's gonna be, when's she gonna attack, right? We can figure that stuff out. Even if you do get revenge, we will celebrate it. Yeah, I'm not strong enough, and that no one wants revenge. What are you talking about? Everybody wants revenge. You don't need a reason. You can kill her. You will kill her because you hate her, and you're gonna feel fucking good about it. I love Guido. I really do enjoy the kind of a character who's like, morality? Questions? What are you talking about? I'm just gonna punch the bad guy in the face and that will be that. That's why I really liked Hibiki in Symphogear. And I really like Guido. I really like her. She can crush most things with the smoke. Vanishing spell, leather sacks. Leather sacks conveniently shaped like human bodies. Unless Ashaf can just use magic to shape them, which I guess makes sense. Will that cheer everyone up a little? I mean, probably. People are dying in the city. The morale of people in the city can't be that high if anybody could just explode at any random moment going back from work, right? Of course the witch being taken care of will cheer everyone up. Once I undo the curse on me, this witch will be a pushover. There was not even a need for that. Yeah, true love, or a witch's kiss, or the other way, right? Just exploding people. Are you all unharmed? Gee, what do you think? Did you not see the red mist and bits and pieces? Oh, that's someone's pancreas. You think that guy is alive? Of course not. Oh, shit. I fell for it myself, didn't I? I fell for his ruse myself. Those were just, I assume... No, they were moving. Unless Ashaf could... Yeah, Ashaf must be able to control them. Right, because he brought one of those dummies with him later on. So he... Okay. That's why they're moving. And yeah, it really looks like they are ripped to... like a popped balloon. Not like a human would. Huh. A little bit of foreshadowing that's like hidden in the background. And asking that whether everyone is unharmed also makes sense, and it's also a little bit of a foreshadowing. Because nobody was harmed. He knows that those were just dummies. In here, under the protection of this shield or whatever, nobody was harmed. Oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. We kept our losses to a minimum. I guess maybe a couple of policemen actually died. We should corner her, and yeah, we know where she is. Because Ashaf can use crows. Armin really fell off, didn't he? 2 of them. That was surprising. I thought that maybe, again, it would be a story that makes sense, right? 2 children of someone who maybe was put in prison by Kiera, or maybe was, I know, executed because he was a murderer, and Kiera found him out and he was executed, and those 2 are now resentful towards Kiera because she orphaned them by proxy, kinda sorta, and now they're taking revenge, right? The 2 of them. I did not expect her sons. Not in my wildest dreams. And it's interesting how everything up to this point still makes sense. It didn't just stop making sense at this moment, but also recontextualizes things heavily. Right? I was ready to maybe not dismiss what the witch was doing, but it was like, oh, witches are evil, so a witch is doing witchy things. Sure, whatever. It happens in this world that a witch just randomly decides to kill people, right? But those are humans. Not even mages, mind you. Regular humans who are going around and committing such atrocities. It really changes the outlook. They're my sons, yeah. Sarnovasus explains why we talked about magical tools early on. Kind of, just a little bit. Feels like an ass pull. Not gonna lie. Feels a little bit like an ass pull. I would have preferred if Kiera actually did have those grimoires. And it was mentioned that, oh, it started during the case when I had to take those 2 grimoires home or whatever. That's when it started. Or my sons visited me at work, and that's when it started. So, oh, maybe the witch wants to retrieve those grimoires, or maybe she decided to burn down the house to, get rid of the evidence or something like that. But no, the answer is much more simple. And here we have a bit of like tragedy, right? Those grimoires were on her desk, and they touched them, and it made them like that, and then and then I stopped pitying them when he said, "Oh, those grimoires give us power, but we have to feed them lives." Well, throw away the grimoire, don't feed it lives, and resign of the power. What's more important, lives of innocent people or the power? You're kind of making a bad choice here. And then they'll eat us if we don't give them sacrifices. Ah, okay, now I can pity them again, because they have to kill whether they want it or not. But then I lost all pity again, because, yeah, I've seen the bodies of a few people you killed. Why did you kill your essentially adoptive father? Why did you kill all those people, right? Why did you have to explode them like that, right? It's a nice, like, roller coaster of pity towards them. And in the first place, why not just tell your mother, "Mommy, we touched the weird grimoire that was on your desk, and it tells my head that I need to kill people. What do I do?" Right? And instead of that, they were like, "Power. We're gonna pretend we're dead. We're gonna burn down the city, burn down the house, kill however many innocent people who also live there, and we're gonna disappear. And whoa, power. Power. We got power." Right? They really got drunk on their power, it seems. Yeah, you failed to pay the grimoire's price. Those weren't people. Yeah, those were just random skin sacks filled with red paint. And no, you cannot kill if you cannot hold the grimoire. Very big weakness. They have a lot of power as long as they hold the book. Throw a rock at their wrist and they no longer hold the book and they no longer have the power. They are now just normal human beings. And Guido is really angry. Not at what they did, at the fact that they pretended to be a witch. They gave her false hope. How fucking dare you? How dare you not be a witch? Why did you pretend to be witches? You were too young to be our mother. Oh, okay. Sure, they felt alone. She was working a lot, leaving them at home. She didn't have the experience being a mother. They felt abandoned, and this is the way they're essentially going through their teenage rebellion, right? Except it ended up with a lot of dead people. You could only see her as a woman. Well, shit. Well, shit. Again, the roller coaster of pity. The roller coaster of pity. Still, that Chiara was actually able to shoot them in the head, I did not expect that. I fully expected her to either shoot herself or shoot them and then herself. I 100% expected that. I wanted you to know ordinary things like that, yeah, how it feels to be loved. Instead, she got a couple of degenerates from the orphanage. Not like degenerates, even like whatever, they feel hot for their own mother, whatever. They're not like bound by blood, they are close-ish in age, sure, happens, whatever. It's not like they tried to grape her or anything like that, right? Whatever. But they are fucking psychopaths, killing people by exploding them like balloons filled with water. She really did not have luck with her choice of those two guys. Two boys committed the killings, yeah. Of course Ashaf knew. Of course he did. Nothing would have kept the Paladin Corps out of a real witch case. Why did your agency bring you the black envelope then? Because it's just how the process goes? Someone notifies you, oh, there's a witch, so it automatically gets classified as a witch thing without any, like, investigation? Maybe, probably. I did not expect her to see her here. I fully expect her to be dead. 100%. I did not expect her to be all sunshine and rainbows either, like she is here. The shadows from underneath her eyes, the eye bags, all of that is gone. She's a changed person. Damn. They find the right person at the right time. So essentially, the grimoires sensed that there's a couple of degenerate psychopaths here, and the grimoire decided, two boys who are gonna make the perfect killers. There's two parts of me, I'm just gonna send myself there. It really, like, incriminates those boys even further, doesn't it? They never would have turned out that way if not for those grimoires. Again, debatable. Sure, they might have not killed people, but they probably would have killed kittens and puppies around the neighborhood. They would probably cave a homeless guy's head in. They would probably steal alcohol from the nearby store. Right? They would probably be doing all sorts of things like that. The deaths they would have suffered for failing to pay the price. Very, like, positive ending, all things considered. I guess maybe that's the tone we're going for here, right? Yeah, I guess that might be the tone we're going for here. Because this is like the second arc, first episode being the first arc, this is the second arc, where during it gets dark, it gets sad, it gets gory, but ultimately the end is decently good, decently happy. Bad guys are dead or imprisoned, good guys are perfectly fine, right? Interesting. I fully expected this show to go in the direction of just being misery porn. I fully expected it to go in the direction where only Ashaf and Guido are certain to survive. Everybody else around them is just disposable for the story, disposable for them, maybe even. Fully expected that. But no, this is the second arc already, and for the second time, the good, innocent guys, if they can survive, survive. Interesting. I would even go as far as to say that in case of this arc, it even felt weird to see Kiera survive. I think it would have even felt more natural if she were to take the third bullet. I wouldn't have liked it on the level where I like the character and I want them to survive, of course, but it would be fitting, if you know what I mean, right? There are moments in plenty of media, not just anime, where I can agree with what they did because it makes sense narratively, but I don't like that the narrative... I like that the narrative went this way, but I would rather they had a happy ending, right? I'm a sucker for happy endings. I really am, but sometimes it makes sense to not get one. So I'm again having not mixed feelings. Mixed feelings is usually has a negative connotation. I'm of two minds here. On one hand, good, cool. There's a series that is dark and moody and gory, which is what I like and appreciate in a show, because not every show is, you know, brave enough to go in that direction. But we also get good endings, which is like having cake and eating it too. So on one hand, I like it really much. On the other, it feels off somehow. Not in a bad way either, just off. Where you would fully expect those stories to have a much darker finale. You would have expected the girls from the first episode to either not survive or forever be crippled without feet and hands. You would have expected in this episode for Kiera to die by her hand or someone else's. And yet not. And yet it defies expectations. Interesting. I will certainly have to watch more to see if that trend continues. Because I wonder if this is the thing that makes this story, this show unique. Also, when this show finishes airing, I'm gonna have to read the source material, because I have a feeling the manga might have some even nicer style and nicer mood to it. And I would also like to get a comparison. Good episode. Unexpected. It really went through twists and turns. There were at least, like, during the runtime of this episode, there were at least 3 different theories that I had as to what's gonna happen, who's the perpetrator, and they were changing constantly. Interesting. And at the same time, it didn't feel like an ass pull. It didn't feel like subverting expectations for the sake of subverting expectations, like you sometimes see in fucking Hollywood cinema, for example, right? Interesting episode for sure. Interesting for sure. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it from me. But maybe you guys have something more to add on the topic, so say so in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode, my reaction, my theories, stuff like that? How did you like this episode? Do you also have mixed feelings about it? Did you like how it ended up? What would make sense for you in regards to Kiera? Tell me about it. No spoilers though, please. Spoilers can go to my Discord here. It's free, open to everybody, also linked in the description, so feel free to join it. Like this video if you did, subscribe to be notified of future videos, not only Majo to Yajuu, but also Majo Record, Free Ren, Shangri-La Frontier, Metallic Rouge, plenty others coming in the future. Click the bell to be notified of when I go live, because I do live stream sometimes. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, linked down below, where for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Majo Record, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. You can also support me directly on YouTube via membership, super thanks, super chats, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Without a Net, Group Survivor, Zayra, Akamaster, Dr. Watt, Marsh, Yukala, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them without having to succumb to a Grimoire's power.